Everybody, and welcome to today's edition of Benivo Bites. We've got an amazing show lined up for you today. We've got loads of news. We've got some really interesting subjects that we're going to be talking technology. We're going to be talking about lump sum. And of course, we've got our regular breaking news feature, and we've got one of our wonderful change makers with us today. So we've got an awesome show already. I can see people coming in from all over the world. So great to see you all, seeing loads of names coming through. Hi there, Frederick. Hi, Lena from Stockholm. Hi, Daniel from New York. Erin from Kansas. I mean, people are coming in. Rob from Florida. People are coming in from all over the world, which is just great. And to me, it feels like a really big week because I'm beginning to feel that the world is gradually coming back to normal. I mean, do you feel that? Join in the conversation. I know a lot of you are already, but you know, tell us, write in the comments box, say hi, tell us where you are, tell us whether you feel the world is getting back to normal. I mean, we had ERC this week. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there because of still US travel restrictions, but some of my colleagues were there. And I got wonderful reports about how great ERC was. We've had other conferences in the US. I know some of the accounting firms have got their conferences. I think KPMG have got theirs this week, and Deloitte have got their in a couple of weeks' time. FEM is next week in EMEA. The world seems to be coming back to normal. Personally, I've just had my booster jab, so I feel even more boosted than ever. And actually, just to let you know, my wife is a vaccinator. She actually vaccinated me. So there you go. We're keeping everything at home. But really exciting stuff going on. So we've got loads of news. Let me just start diving into it. First of all, today we're going to be talking about lump sum, the next generation. I know, people are really interested in lump sum, and I know lump sum is controversial, and a lot of people really don't like lump sum. A lot of people love lump sum. I mean, our position from a Benivo perspective is that we are lump sum neutral. If companies want to use lump sum, we've got the technology that really supports, and it's really cool technology, and we're going to show it. For people that are not that interested in lump sum, don't want lump sum, we've got our products also deal with, if you like, more conventional policies or core flex, etc. But because there's so much interest in lump sum, we did want to sort of get back to it. And in fact, this is, believe it or not, the third time we've covered lump sum this year. And to celebrate it, we're going to release 3 new features today on technology, which you'll get to see live. So we've got some really exciting stuff coming up for you on lump sum. What else have we got? Well, next week, the 3rd of November, now this is really exciting. We've got a fabulous show. Put this one in your calendar if you haven't already. Next week on the 3rd of November, we've got not 1, not 2, not 3, but we've got 4 members of the top 100 of the top 100 global mobility corporate professionals in the world. And they're going to be on the show. We've got Tanya Mariottini from Twilio, Mark Bicocci from Hilton, Kristen Dardani from Mediacom, and Jack Jampel from Stryker. What an awesome lineup that is. And we're going to be talking about flexibility in mobility and how 2022 and beyond is going to start to look. So really, we got a fascinating, great show for you next week. Now, one thing I must tell you for next week, and this is really important for those of you especially those of you in Europe, is that next week is the funny week. And what I mean by that is in Europe, the clocks go back this Sunday. So if you didn't know that, just You heard it here first. The clocks go back next Sunday in Europe, but they don't go back in the US till the following Sunday. So that means that somebody somewhere, we've got to change the hour for 1 week only. And this week, the 3rd of November, we're going to be going live at the same time as ever for those of you on US-based time zones. In other words, 11 a.m. Eastern or wherever else you are in the US. But for those of you in Europe, we will be 1 hour earlier than normal. So rather than go out at 4 p.m. UK time, it'll be 3 p.m. UK time. So just make sure you note your diary accordingly. And then the following week, of course, we're back to our normal times because all the clocks in the world will have adjusted. And we're going to be having a big show all about India. And technology in India is huge, huge number of Indian domestic moves, huge number of Indian outbounds, huge number indeed of Indian inbounds. It's probably the second biggest market in the world. And we're going to focus specifically on India on the 10th of November. So what else have I got to share with you? Well, I mean, the top 100 nominations have just been flooding in, absolutely flooding in. If you haven't made your nomination, please go on to top100.benivo.com. I'll leave the ticker up there and make your nominations. You can nominate up to 10 people. So do go out there, nominate. You can nominate anybody you want, but this is the corporate list. So please don't nominate any service providers. We'll be doing that in the spring. But if there's corporates you work with, corporates you know, colleagues, then do get out there and nominate. And we'll be releasing that in December, that list. But nominations are now open, and they're open until the 17th of November. So you've got about 3 weeks to get your nominations in. So please let's do that. So all very, very exciting stuff that we've got coming up. Now, let me just remind you about the topic. So that's it. The top 100 is open. Get out there, make those nominations, join in the fun. And if you've nominated, like I see Valerie has said that she's submitted mine yesterday. If you've made your nominations, get out there. Just tell us that you've done it. It'd be lovely to see that. And let's, it's fun. Although speaking to people who made the top 100 list, they are so excited. We want to get so many people on that list. So please do make your nominations and make somebody's day. Now, one of the things we started doing, and we started this a couple of months back, is having a breaking news feature every week. We're trying to make this the GM news channel. So every week we've got a little bit of breaking news for you. And let's talk about today's breaking news. So as I said in the breaking news, really, really exciting week. We've got the FEM coming up. We've got the Emma's Awards coming up. We had ERC last week. Many congratulations to Ed Hannibal being inducted into ERC's Hall of Leaders. Do hit the like button, hit the heart, hit the applause, let Ed know, give Ed congratulations. It's an amazing honor for him. So that's a great bit of news. Also, I just wanted to touch a little bit of a PwC update, because I mentioned there that in a survey that we did, 74% of people expect that another Big Four firm will follow PwC. But it's interesting hearing the comments, and I get loads of comments, loads of private messages from people. The overarching feeling I'm getting is pretty positive about what PwC have done. And I think there is really a feeling that they are going to get a first mover advantage. And the word on the street, or the word that I'm hearing, seems to be that, that this deal is being pretty well received by clients. It's pretty exciting out there. There also seems to be a theory, and I don't know whether this is true or not, that this might be a bit of a halfway house to the private equity, and that there may be an IPO in years to come and they'll raise capital. Who knows? But that seems to be what people seem to be suggesting might be. The question, though, is who do you think might be next? Is this the end of the game? Will it be just PwC who are going to go to private equity, or trade sale, or whatever, leave the Big Four? Or do we think another firm will follow them? Well, I'll be interested in your views. Do you think anybody's going to be following PwC down this street? Leave your views in the comments box. We did do a poll on this, and I mean, these polls are only a bit of fun, so I wouldn't take them with too much pinch of salt. But if the market was guessing, it would be guessing that Deloitte is next, then KPMG, then EY. And as I said, about a quarter of people think that nobody is going to follow. But 3/4 think that one of the Big Four, at least, is going to be following within the next 5 years. So pretty exciting stuff. There is one bit of sad news that I wanted to share with you whilst talking about PwC, which is that there was a lovely guy called Mark Smith, who in fact, I used to work with when we were at EY together. He later became a partner at PwC, and he very sadly and tragically died recently in an accident. So I'd just like to pay respects on behalf of everybody at the from Benivo, and indeed on behalf of everybody in the global mobility community, to a really nice guy who sadly passed away just a few days ago. So fond memories of a great man. So moving, really sad news. But moving on, I'd like to talk about the Change Makers initiative that we run. And as many of you know, we launched the Change Makers initiative a while ago. And this is an initiative where we're getting together a series of global mobility professionals, in-house professionals, who are really excited for technology. And they've got a real passion for technology, and who are sharing, not just with us, but with the market generally, their vision as how we can use technology to enhance global mobility. And as a quid pro quo, and we're calling it sort of mobility for good, that they're helping us, but we're also helping them. And our change makers can nominate any charity they want locally, and then we are supporting a charity of their choice. And what we've said is that we're going to try and get some of those change makers on, so you can get to know them and also know the charities they support. So what I'd like to do now is to bring on one of our change makers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all the change makers, and then you can start guessing which one is going to be on the show today. So whilst the video is playing, have a guess in the comments box about which of the change makers is going to be on the show. And at the end of the little video, one of our change makers will be with us, and they'll be talking about their particular charity. So, you know, bit of fun, bit of a way of giving back. So let's see who the change makers are. And by the way, if you are a corporate and you want to be a change maker, then just message me or message one of my colleagues, and we will see whether we can get you involved as a change maker. So have a look at the video and see who you know, who are the great global mobility professionals who are working with us to do good in their local communities.
Hello. Good morning.
Hey, Angela, welcome to the show. Actually, you've been on the show before. Well, welcome again.
Thank you.
Angela, where are you today?
I'm in Houston, so I saw several folks on the phone are also from Houston. So greetings. It's rainy and gross outside here. Hope everyone else is enjoying better weather.
Oh dear, oh dear. I'm sorry to hear that. But Angela, thank you so much for being a change maker. And tell me, tell me a bit about your role in Phillips 66 for those who don't know a bit about it.
Sure. So I oversee our university recruiting group. So we're responsible for hiring the interns and the new hires coming out of university. So it's been a busy past couple months with recruiting season, and we partner with Benivo for our interns to help find them temporary housing for the summer and to help make roommate connections.
Cool. Okay, and you're passionate about technology, and that's why you're with us. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And so tell us a little bit about the charity that we're supporting for you.
Sure. So first, thank y'all for doing that. It's very generous of y'all to support a charity that we're passionate about. So many great charities out there, as we all know, but I chose to support one locally called Lone Star Boxer Rescue. So it is a dog rescue focused on boxers. So we have, through this organization, adopted 2 boxers. We most recently adopted one in June. And so we think it's a great organization finding good homes for dogs, maybe that have come from not great situations. And it's just something that's near and dear to our hearts. And so appreciate y'all supporting them as well.
Oh, that's lovely. And actually, let's get a boxer up here. There you go. Become a foster, save a life. That's from the Lone Star Rescue boxer charity. So that's fabulous. What are the names of your boxers?
So the one we currently have is named Bruno. So for those of you Cinderella fans, we named him after the dog in Cinderella. So.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
And if anybody else would like to be a change maker, they've got a passion for technology, and they've got a charity locally they want to support, then do message us. Angela, you of course are a Benivo client, but this does not have to be for Benivo clients. It's anybody in the industry who's got a passion about technology and would like to be involved. And there we put the website up, so anybody who's interested, especially those of you it's Houston based, your charity, isn't it? Those of you in the Houston area.
It's actually for all of Texas, so they adopt dogs throughout the state. Yes.
Cool. Okay, so anybody out there in Texas who's interested in boxers, that's the charity, and Angela is your go-to person if you want any information about boxers in there. So anyway, it's just a quick hi to you and many thanks. What we're going to do now is we're going to move on to our regular immigration updates. I'm absolutely delighted that we're going to be moving on to bring Julia Onslow-Cole onto stage. So everybody, you know how it works. Hit the heart, hit the like, hit the applause. Say thank you to Angela for all the good work that she's doing with Lone Star Boxer Rescue. And a big welcome to Julia Onslow-Cole as we bring Julia onto stage.
All right. Bye.
Hi, Brian.
Hi. I never know where in the world you are. Where are you today, Julia?
I'm in Winchester, where I live.
You're at home, safe and sound.
Yes.
Okay. And I see you're nominated for an award for next week. So best of luck with that.
Yeah, but it's exciting to go to an awards dinner. I'm really excited about that.
Absolutely. Well, see you there.
Yeah.
So anyway, and big shout out to everybody at FEM. Obviously, I've got a very personal fondness for FEM, having founded it back in the day. But really, really fond of FEM, and I wish you all the best and a great event next week. So, Julia, where are you going to talk to us about today?
I'm going to talk about Asia Pac, and I wanted to just really talk a bit about strategy, what we're seeing companies do from a strategic point of view.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so I wanted to really pick up on what we've been saying about how important it is to kind of push down the transactional work, using technology such as Benivo, but, you know, really focusing on the strategy and then looking at what's happening in Asia Pac. Now, I just wanted to say thank you to Becky Shear and Mark Buchanan, because they are Fragomen partners in China and Singapore and really helped me put this together. But what we're seeing is a real change in the market in China, and companies are more and more trying to get sustainable growth from the expats that are already in China. And they're focusing very much on the expats that are already there. And there's a huge amount of activity moving companies and headhunting expats that are already living in China. But we're not seeing so many moves from outside of China into China. And I think there's a lot of reasons for this, but the costs of having expats in China has really gone up. So if you're looking at the remuneration costs, the housing allowances are coming in at about 2.5 times remuneration. So it's pretty hefty. And then obviously we had the political sort of direction from President Trump vis-a-vis the US and China. And really Biden hasn't really changed that very much. So we saw a big US car manufacturer pull out of Shanghai very recently and move their business to Germany. And we are seeing other companies move things to a lower cost, lower risk cost base to Malaysia, to India, and also elsewhere in Europe. I also think that there's been a lot more censorship in China. In fact, LinkedIn is going to be censored soon.
Oh, really?
And that's...
I better be careful.
Exactly, yeah. So I think that that's another thing that's, you know, making it quite difficult for expats. And then PwC did a kind of little mini survey of all of the people that we've moved. And we looked at the 2020 pandemic and then this year. And actually, there's only been a 2% increase in moves into China, which is actually very small. So the thing that I want you to take away from this is that this seems to be the trend, looking at you know, other companies and the talent that's already in China. But also, and this is a real top tip, and I really want you to listen out to this.
Okay, pens out, everybody. Make sure you write this down.
Important. Yeah, because it's been very difficult to get dependents to China. And as we know, dependents are so important, ever more important since the pandemic. And we have a window of opportunity now where dependents are being allowed into China. And we've heard it from 2 ambassadors in different countries that this is going to likely close as we get towards the winter and there's going to be rising COVID cases. So if you have any cases of people that you want to move between now and Christmas or January, try and push those cases forward and try and get people in, at least get their immigration sorted and get them settled as soon as possible, just to make sure that you've got all the dependents in.
So it's buy now whilst visas last.
Yeah, exactly, for the dependents. The other thing to say is that China and Hong Kong are the only countries in the APAC region that are really focusing on a zero COVID policy. So in China, there was an elderly couple that went to the north of China, and they unfortunately both had COVID, and they infected a lot of people along the way. And as a result of that, the Wuhan Marathon got closed. So there's a real zero tolerance. And as we've talked about in previous weeks, this is not the case outside Hong Kong and China, but it makes it very difficult for companies to operate. And I don't know if you saw this, but there's been a lot of press about companies, particularly banks, saying they cannot carry on like this with Hong Kong because only 1 in 5 applications for exceptions to quarantine in Hong Kong are being granted. And it's just very, very difficult for companies to operate in such a very strict environment where truly it's so hard to just get a zero COVID balance. So looking at the rest of the countries, Singapore is a good example of a country that did have that policy, moved away to the vaccine policy. Their cases are about 3,000 a day. Now, you will recall that when we've talked about Singapore before, we've talked about 1,000 a day as being really high for Singapore, but they're now 3,000 a day. Yet despite this, Singapore is still absolutely convinced that it's not the right thing to do what Hong Kong and China have done and keep to a zero COVID policy. And they are opening up. So one big piece of news, which is relevant for when we have the show on India, is that they have just opened, after more than 18 months, travelers from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and they were in category 4, but they're just now allowed to come into Singapore. They have to quarantine 10 days in a dedicated facility, but this is a huge movement, and this is what we'll be talking about on Benivo 2 weeks' time. Nitsan will be going through some amazing technology, really very helpful for India, and I will be giving an India update, but this, you can see the market opening. And then just to say that it's also opening category 3 for Malaysia and Indonesia. And then just a couple of quick words. The Philippines and Vietnam has a similar policy to China, in the sense it is opening up, but people are very much looking at the talent that's already there. And Japan, very strict travel restrictions persist. So again, difficult to get people into Japan. And then finally, I just wanted to say about Australia, people are so relieved, but finally they're opening up a bit. And vaccinated travellers who have permanent residence or who are Australian citizens can now go into Australia. And we think that they're going to open up further for students and business people. And there's this announcement of a bubble between Australia and New Zealand, which is really good, without quarantine, hopefully in place by November. So I just wanted to sort of give you that update, talk about it strategically, and hopefully that is helpful.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Julia. And I will see you next week at the Emma's Award dinner. And I know some of my Benivo colleagues will be there. If you're going to be out there at the Emma's Award dinner next week, then write in the comments box, let us know, and do make sure you come up and say hi on the day, because it'd be lovely to meet everybody. You know, obviously a lot of old friends, but people maybe that we don't know, do come up and say hi to us. So if you're going to be at the Emma's next week, it's next Wednesday, I believe. So I'll be doing the show and then going straight off down there. Then do let me know and write in that comments box. Anyway, we're now going to move on to the subject of today. We're going to be talking about lump sum, the new generation, and I've got a number of Benivo colleagues joining me on the show today. So let's give it up for Julia Onslow-Cole. Hit the heart, hit the like, hit the applause. Say thank you for this regular update that she does for us every week. And let's also welcome to the stage my Benivo colleagues, and we're going to start talking about some really cool technology you're going to see. So we've got Matt and we've got Beth from Benivo. Good to see you both. And in fact, Nitsan's going to be joining us a bit later when we actually go into the demo stage. But let's talk about the subject du jour of lump sum, the next generation. And as I said in the intro, this is, you know, for some reason, lump sum can actually be quite controversial. We're not going to get into a debate today about whether lump sum is the right way to go or the wrong way to go. So if you want to put comments in there about whether you like or don't like lump sum, feel free to do so, but that's not our focus. Our focus is going to be on, for those companies that want to have lump sum, how can we best do lump sum? How can we best do it? And maybe we'll come on to a bit about why people might be negative on lump sum in a moment. We don't want to get into a long debate. But I mean, our philosophy, and I just want to say a few words by way of introduction. I mean, our philosophy in our technology is very simple. And I've said it on the show before, and I'll say it again. And it can be summed up really in the following sentence, which is, why should you be able to, why can you expect better technology when you're ordering a pizza than when you're handling a relocation? Because if you order a pizza or food from, whatever is your favorite delivery app, you get to read the reviews. It's a bit like when you're buying an Amazon, you get to see the reviews and see what other people's choices are. And then you can track what's going on, and payment is pretty much instantaneous. Whereas it's not like that in mobility. You can't track, you can't read user reviews, and payments can be pretty slow. So those are all things that we're trying to do. We're trying to create, the whole philosophy behind everything we do at Benivo is about creating, well, we call it an Amazon-like user experience. I mean, other people might just say it's a consumer-grade user experience, but hopefully everybody out there knows what we mean, that we want to create a really special user experience and create that level of technology in the mobility space. But anyway, we started off I was talking about lump sum and the next generation. And I said in the intro that it's a bit controversial. Some people don't like lump sum. And when we were chatting earlier, Matt, you said that, the lump sum model is, sorry, who was it? One of you said, maybe it was you actually, said the lump sum model is broken. Actually, I think I've addressed that to the wrong person. It was you, wasn't it?
All right, yeah.
I think Beth has some thoughts on that.
Absolutely. So tell us, Beth, why do you think the lump sum model is broken?
I mean, first, I'd like to echo what you were saying, Brian. The lump sum model, although it might be broken, it's not a bad policy choice. It's the right policy decision for many business contexts, often offered as part of a wider policy suite. It's great for employees that want to self-serve. It's a simple way for both employees and employers to understand the cost. And sometimes it's even the employee's preference. So just wanted to make clear, it's not a bad choice. But we feel that HR teams should not have to sacrifice employee experience when they're authorizing lump sum policies. So from the point of view of the HR or even the employee, the traditional model is broken in that teams do have to sacrifice currently the employee experience if they're following the lump sum model. There's sometimes little visibility after they've given that cash to an employee. It can be a pain to authorize, and then they don't really see what services are being bought or the service performance. For employees, it can be manual. It could be a slow process to get paid or to get that reimbursement. So although it can be the right policy choice, there are certainly challenges with how we're currently using it.
And do people use it much? I mean, is there much engagement? Well,
the surveys that we've seen show that it's very underutilized. So where individuals get a lump sum, they're then shown corporate services, which tend to have a really small uptake, maybe between 0 and 10%. So
0 to 10% engagement. So in other words, people get offered the services and then they're not using them.
Exactly. They're just not the right market. They're not the right suppliers for those lump sum users. They're often given money, and then the model that they're presented with is people selling them services. And if the employee doesn't choose to buy those services from those vendors, then they don't receive that support. So that's where the duty of care is missed.
So there's a failure of duty of care as well, then, is what you're saying, is that people aren't taking services that maybe they should, or they're falling foul of some problem because they didn't get the understanding. And I know a lot of people who are very anti lump sum, that is one of their biggest arguments, which is that there's a major failure of duty of care.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the question that we always get asked at Benivo, or what the gap that we're trying to fill, is employees need guidance on how to spend that money. So as you were referencing the Amazon-like experience, they want to know what other people have done. So the first question that they ask, or the problem that they've got, is that they get this money, and then they want to know how much they spend on the different services. And not just in general, specific to the place that they're going, their specific personal situation, how much should they spend? They need guidance. And who do they want that guidance from? They want it from other people who've made those choices, and can give actual feedback on on what they've done and whether that was a good or a bad decision.
Okay, I hate being negative. So, we've talked about some of the problems with lump sum traditionally. Okay, let's put that to one side and let's start looking about solutions. I mean, and let's, and I know we've called this the next generation. It sounds like something out of Star Trek or something, doesn't it? Matt, I mean, tell us a little bit then about what you think the solutions might be and how we get to a solution. And then we're going to actually start demoing it. And I know we're going to be showing some pretty cool technology. So if you want to see some cool technology, guys, just make sure you stay to the end of the show because we've got some really cool stuff, including we're going to do a live payment to show you just exactly how lightning fast payments can be. So
exactly,
Matt,
right.
Tell us about solutions.
Yes, let me. I'm going to give a quick preview of some of the solution philosophy that we bring to the table for lump sum policies, and then we're going to bring Nitsan on to show those things live. So, the answer that we see to the problems that Beth was just outlining there is that you need to have technology do more for you, more for HR, and more for consumer employees, just like any other service in the consumer market. So the things that we value. The principles that we're working with for our lump sum solution are ease, speed, and value to the employee. So those are that's really the banner, right? So with lump sum policies, the first order of business is that you need to get money to your employees. And in order for that to be a great experience, you need to have it be lightning fast. So we really focus on it being a lightning fast experience to both request the money and get paid. So
what do we
on
mean
Benivo,
what do we mean by lightning fast?
We mean at the speed of lightning to request your money and get it into your account or to a virtual card or to a digital wallet, however you actually want to get that money. And you as the employee, might want a variety.
Yeah.
Depends on what you want to do, because if you need to, say, turn around and book temp accommodation, really good to have that money on a virtual card. You can literally turn around in 15 minutes and book something online. If you need to put down a deposit for a house, then you're going to probably need to do a bank transfer to a landlord. And if you have a rewards program on your PayPal account and you like to get some cash back or points, then maybe a digital wallet is the way for you to go. So you might want to divide up your funds. But so what we're going to show you today, and one of the new things in our third show on lump sum that we have is to do a live money transfer. So on the Benivo app, it's a 5-minute process to request your money and get it into your hands between instant to 1 working day, depending on the country and the method that you choose. Now, the second thing that happens is that, often with lump sum, there are some ancillary services that do get authorized. So let's say tax, immigration, travel, those things need to be coordinated, and they need to be coordinated easily. And if it's, sometimes with travel, there's also expense reimbursements that need to be done. Any benefit, we can deliver the same great experience of getting my lump sum amount as we can deliver with getting reimbursed for my expenses, things that I paid for out of pocket. Additional in terms of just basic admin is you may need to go through a basic process of signing some documents. You need to sign your relocation agreement. You need to sign a repayment agreement, perhaps, as the employee. Also, HR needs to be able to get that done, action a workflow, and they ideally need to be able to do that without really thinking or working too hard. Just press one button and the whole thing goes afterwards.
Keep it simple. Keep
it easy. As little input as possible to get everything done. And then the final piece that we'll move right on to is that employees need to move, right? So they need to move. They may or may not need to buy services, but they certainly need guidance, and they certainly can value having access to advice and to have a baseline of duty of care available to them where they do not need to buy anything. They may need to buy something, but they don't need to buy anything in order to get basic support. So we deliver that in a digital fashion and with the human touch. We have a customer service team, and one of the second innovations that we've brought here is a concept called social insights ambassadors. So we have the social insights feature on the website, in the app, which is data points, service reviews, and star ratings from employees like me who moved to that destination before. What we've also brought...
So employees are managing their own moves, but there's also hand-holding in there, in that they've got social insight ambassadors, people from their company who've moved before who are helping them through the process.
That's right. So for the whole, since we've launched this product, you've always had data,
so
access
cool.
to data points as the employee, and now you also have access to someone who moved before, a colleague at your company, who's volunteering themselves to say, "I'll be a point of contact for this destination. You know, I went through this move. I can give you some advice on neighborhoods and process and tips for managing it, and also be a point of contact where people don't have a local point of contact when they first move, oftentimes." So it's another way to establish that human connection, not just with someone who's assigned to help you, but someone who is volunteering to help you, and someone who also you share something in common with because you both moved to that city and you both work for that company. That's getting very good uptake, and we're excited about this feature.
I'm dying to see. I'm dying to see the demo. So let's move on a bit. I mean, so what you're saying is that the employees are managing their own moves. They've got social insights, and how would you? I mean, it's basically a consumer grade experience. I mean, how would you describe the solution?
That's right, exactly like that. Consumer grade experience, directory of consumer services that they might want to buy at competitive price points, and guidance through the life admin that you need to do. So in the balance of the 20 minutes of the show, I agree that we should bring Nitsan on to show a little bit of what we've been talking about.
Okay, so we'll bring Nitsan on now, and we've got some really cool technology to show you. So anyway, everybody give it up. Let's put hearts, likes, applauses. Let's welcome Nitsan, and we're going to show you some amazing technology now, as I said, with some actual live payments going through. Nitsan, welcome.
Thank you. All right, so let's jump into it, and then please I'll share my screen, and let's start. We are going to do a few things different today. I'm quite excited about this demo. We are going to do, well, we said we'll do 3 new things, but actually on the chat, on the comments, some people mentioned the 5 and the 0, and that I should talk more about 5 and 0 in the context of football. So let's do 5 new things today instead of only 3. And we'll start by looking at a bank account. This is not part of the Benivo technology. This is a bank account we use. And we are going to meet this bank account a bit later. Just let's look at the moment, what is the amount of money in this bank account? £101.50p. 50, obviously it's 5 and 0 for obvious reasons, but we will come back.
That's a real bank account. So this is live. This isn't just a screenshot. This is a live bank account that we're showing, and we're going to
correct. And later, if everything would work as planned, there's going to be more money in this account. And Brian, I let you choose how much money we move there, or maybe involve someone else.
No, actually, I'll let the audience choose. Shout out a number from in the audience. We're going to do a live money transfer. You can choose anything between £1, £1 and £30. So choose a sum, and we'll pick a sum that someone's chosen, and that will be the amount that we'll transfer live, just to show that we're not sort of this is not fake. This is real money transfers. We're showing how easy it can be.
All right, great. So let's start our journey. As always, we like to start with showing the branded experience. That's Philip 66 with Angela. That's our Bayer platform. And we are going to look today on Wayne Enterprise platform. And I'm going to start from the mobility manager view. Right, so I'm starting the demo not as an employee, but as the mobility manager or the HR. And I'm going to initiate a new employee. We're going to do all of that live. So let's see how quickly it is to initiate a new employee. I will enter my details. I will initiate myself. Great. And I'm going to choose now which office I'm going to go to Dallas, and a population of lump sum. That's it. That's all I need to do in order to initiate myself into the platform. And next, I can select what's the lump sum amount that I will receive in whatever currency it is. Obviously, I have my default on my policy, but I will put here now, I'll authorize myself $150. Great. I can decide how many days before my work start date the employee will have access to this money. Right here, it's saying a year, but let's say we only want to say 30 days. we can only give them access 30 days or only after they arrive. It's fully flexible. Everything here is fully customizable. And I'm clicking next, submit, and that's it. We initiated a new assignment in under 30 seconds. And what I would aim to show now is that for the employee who was just initiated, to get the money to their bank account shouldn't take longer than 5 minutes, because that's
Okay,
the
so
expectation.
just to say that we initiated somebody in just a couple of minutes there, just to show how quick and easy it is. Yeah.
Great. I'm looking now at my Gmail account, and I can see I got an invitation to join Wayne Enterprise Platform. Now I am the employee, no longer the mobility manager, and I can go ahead and set up a password and join. And let's see what is my journey as the employee. First, I can choose the language that I would like to have this experience. Despite my heavy accent, I'll stay with English, but I can choose one of the 103 languages supported via machine translation. I'm going to say which city I'm traveling from. I'm going to choose London.
One day we'll do that live. We'll just show people how quickly, not necessarily now, but we'll do it one day to show you how quickly we can just change the language into any language that people want.
Great. And as I'm going through that, I'm personalized my experience, and that will make sure that everything is going to be hyper relevant for me, right? So I'm saying I'm relocating with my partner and my children. Hence, I will get the opportunity first to invite my partner, my spouse, to the spouse platform, that it's all about them as part of their support, as well as see information about schools and other things that are going to be available for me on the platform. All right, I'm going to skip that relatively quickly, get my confetti and into the platform. And on the platform, I can see 3 things that are relevant for me. First is the actions. What do I want? What do I want to do, when to do it, and how to get it done. Then in destination, providing digital destination support via a product for all the areas of destination. Whether I have I'm going to use a vendor or not, I'm always going to be supported, right? Beth and Matt talk about the importance of duty of care. That's one of our areas of providing better duty of care. We're also going to show a lot of the hand-holding later today, but that's our concept of destination. And money. Let's start with the money. First thing I want to do is get access to my money. If you remember, I selected before $150 as initiated to this employee, and here is the money I have here. So I just want to get funds to my bank account. And normally the way that process works is that the employee needs to fill some forms and sign, and we've automated all of that. It's all happening in one place on a single platform in one flow. It's a digital brief that saves a lot of time, and it's all powered by artificial intelligence, AI, in order to be able to make a decision, approve a payment, and make it. Let's see how that works. So first, I will sign that I agree with the policy details that I received. I can click here if I want a reminder. Second, this flow can be customized. And here I can see some of the company requirements that I need to use the fund, for example, within 12 months of my starting date. I'm going to make a declaration that I have my visa documents, and each of every step here is fully customized to what the corporates want to have as part of the process of getting the payment. Let's say one of the steps is signing a repayment agreement. I don't need to go anywhere else. I just can go and do it here on the platform. All the information is pre-populated for me. I don't need to fill any new information. I can just sign, and that's it. I'm done. I'm now going to get a copy into my email box as well, and my employer will also know that I've signed it. And if I haven't signed it, I will not have access to the funds. All right, next I can choose how do I want to get paid. Matt mentioned before a couple of options, whether I want to get paid via bank transfer, PayPal, virtual, credit card. It's a decision I need to make. Every decision is creating another point of stress to the employee. And how we solve it, we help them figure out how others have done it before. So I can see 94% of my colleagues went with a transfer to their bank account. I should probably just do the same. Great. I can see it will take between instant to 1 working day. I will choose now to get paid in GBP. Brian, what's the amount I should pay here? Put here.
Let me just have a look back in the comments. We had 12 from Christopher Barnett, 10 from Kelly West, 11 from Andronic, 20 from Robs, 24 from Stephanie, Nelly, 20, a couple at 30. I won't take 30 because that's the maximum one, and I want to get something looks a bit unusual. Let's go for Stephanie. She's done 24. So
24
from Stephanie. So we're going to take that one.
All right, let's do that. 24 pounds. Next, I need to provide how I want to get paid. I want to get paid now to my account in the UK, but I can get paid to any account in the world and in any currency. Great. What I need to enter here is the account number. And by the way, if I'm making a typo in the account, the system already checks it for me and say, hey, look like this number is not a valid number. Add another digit here. And also here, I'm making a mistake, so I need to fix it. Let me see what's the real account number, and then I can make sure I'm...
It helps if you know your bank account number when you're doing this demo.
Yeah, if only it was mine. 23, 14, 70. Good. Looks like I've put the right one for... All right, great.
Okay, so
that's it. I'm sending the money. 24 pounds are going to be transferred to my bank account. And the platform tells me what we just want to do one more step of validation. Please enter a code. We send you that code by email. I'm checking my email. Here the code has arrived. Great. I'm going to input it now. And that's it. Funds have been sent for approval by our algorithm. So we'll give it a couple of minutes to arrive to the bank account. And in the meantime, let's look at some other things on the platform. So great, I got access to my funds. That was very, very easy. That was very, very fast. Let's see what else I can do here. So I can go and learn a little bit about the policy that I have, about my allowance, as well as be able to see how my colleagues are using their funds, right? So it's all bite-sized content, never longer than a tweet. And now I can go and see what my colleagues are spending the money on, right? So one of the questions that Beth raised, how do I know how much to spend? Well, I can see how others, what percentage of the funds they spend on shipping, on accommodation cost, on travel cost, and I just can expect that my costs are going to be similar as well.
Just to let you know, Nitsam, we're getting quite a few questions coming in. I know you can't see the screen when you're sharing your screen, so as soon as we've gone through that, I'll take some of the questions and feed them through to you once we've gone through and finished up the money transfer.
Sounds good. You said money transfer, so let's see if the money has arrived, right? That's been like, what, 1 minute long? So it was £100 and 50p before. Yep. It should be now 125. And here, the money has arrived. You can see I received the payment from Benivo. It took really 2 minutes for the funds to arrive, and that's the experience that people expect to have today.
Okay,
right?
So let me just come in on that, Nitsan. So if you're running a lump sum policy at the moment, or indeed an expense policy, and you're waiting weeks, which can happen, to get sums reimbursed, this is how quickly it can be done with technology. I mean, it was literally done. We did it live on air. You chose the amount, and the money was transferred within literally a couple of minutes. We call it lightning fast payments. And that's it. And I know somebody said the question, they said it was in pounds. They said, what's a pound these days? And I fully appreciate that comment as an ardent anti-Brexiteer, but that's a different argument. We can do it in other currencies. That was just the one we were showing today. So Nitsan, shall I take some of these questions that are coming through now?
Yes, let's take a few questions.
Okay, so I'll just put up some comments here, some questions from Meredith. Very cool and easy use platform. I know this is only a small portion of the capabilities. Can the lump sum employees access suppliers from the platform in their portal to find vetted services and pricing? And can the supplier services be client directed? Don't answer that one yet, Nitsan. Let me just take a couple of other questions as well, and then we'll put those up. This one's from Joyce. Will the employer be able to see where the employee was physically when they access the account? And another question here from Talia. Can you pay vendors directly from the platform? Do you then keep the money in the platform instead of transferring it to your bank account? So 3 questions coming in there, Nitsan.
All right. Hey, let's see if I remember all of them. So the first one, can I see vendors? So yes, let me show you.
I'll take that screen away.
So are you showing my screen still?
No, I've taken your screen away, unless you want me to show it.
Please share it. I'll answer everything with a screen on the platform. So yes, I can see vendors. You can see now the categories: housing, shipping, travel, utilities, lifestyle, even restaurants, places to go out, and all of them are vendors, and I can see that are vetted, and I can see whether it's client directed. Yes, so I can have here recommended by a client. It's fully customizable, so if shipping is provided as part of the policy, we can just remove it from here. If the corporate only want to use 1 or 2 or 3 vendors, we will only show them. Other than that, it's vendors that the employees also have used. They provided their ratings, star ratings, reviews. I can see from other people experiences. So that was that question. Can we make payment to these vendors? In most cases, the employees are making the payments directly. We do have a core flex program that allows us to also make payments to vendors. We've shown some of it in previous show. We'll show more in future shows as well. But here in this example of the lump sum, most employees prefer to get the funds to themselves, and then they can pay the vendors. And the third, remind me, what was the middle question? The one in the middle?
Will the employer be able to see where the employee was physically when they access the account?
Yes, if they want, that's available as well. GDPR compliant, so the employee can opt out of that. But yes, that's available as well. I want to show a few more things that are happening on the platform in the few minutes that we have still to go. One of them is, for example, the ability to book my travel. Right? So let's say I need now to get engaged with the travel booking platform. All of that can happen on the platform. First, I'm going to choose how I'm going to travel. I'm going to fly. And then I can see that my corporate is working with CWT, and the majority of my employees are using them as the vendor. Great. So I can get a view of what are the steps, what will happen, and what should I expect, manage my expectation. And later I will get live updates on the platform showing me the progress, right? So that's what we call the pizza delivery experience. I can see it every moment where I am. My employer can track the progress, can identify if the vendor is meeting the SLAs, and I have a better expectation as the employee. All right. And I've been asking a few questions. Will I travel with my partner? I'm going to say no. And also, actually, why not? I'll travel with my partner, but with no dependents.
There's a question coming in from Tracy, but I'll take that in a moment. Tracy, we will get back to you. I'll just let Nitsan finish up with what he's saying, and then we'll get back to Tracy's question, which is how are the payments being captured for payroll reporting?
Yeah, and now I can choose the rest of the details here and complete the information. Everything that is already available will be pre-populated with data validation. Hence, I need to make sure my partner is not too young. Great. And the information will be sent to the provider, including the details about when do I want to fly and which airport, etc. And I can send it now to my vendor, all of that from a single platform. Everything is automated, and now the employer can track how fast it takes the employer to respond, what is the process, etc. If I need to submit now any expenses to get reimbursed, I can do that on the platform. I'm not going to show that today. We're going to have a specific show about our expense management solution in about a month. It's unbelievable, the technology that we've built there. Really, really something I'm proud of, all powered by machine learning, all automated. But as you can see, we remove all the friction, all the manual steps steps. Everything is automated. I want to touch here on two more things before we go back to questions that Matt mentioned. One of them was about personal support. So we have 3 layers of hand-holding support. First, there is the Benivo support team available online for a chat at any time via email or on requesting a callback, or I can schedule a time for a tour of the platform. That's first option for me. The second option, I can see all the key contacts involved in my relocation experience. I can contact them directly on the platform, whether it's my tax advisor or anyone else in the process. And finally, what we've added now, and that's completely new, is those city ambassadors, employees of the same companies who moved in the past and now are willing to help their colleagues and feel welcome, because that's what we want to achieve. We want to create that unique feeling of, oh, I belong here. And that we can do by getting people who moved, Karen Millen, who moved to Dallas with just a couple of months ago with the Wayne Enterprise and willing to be my first friend in the location I'm moving. This is something we found exciting. It was an idea that one of the corporates we work with brought, and we were just happy to launch it and make it available on scale. I can see some of my colleagues and send direct question to them. And to recognize their support, we are making a contribution to a charity on their behalf that they choose. So creating some more social good and spreading the love. This is layer 2 of hand-holding.
That's such a great idea.
Thank you. And the layer 3 of hand-holding is around settling in. So let's say I want to apply for Social Security. I can go here through the process, which documents I need to prepare, how to apply it, what's the expected timeline. So maybe if it's too much for me and I'm a kind of person who wants just help, I can just schedule a call for support, right? And I can have someone walk me through the process of getting those settling in actions that are needed, applying for Social Security, registering with a bank account, getting my local driver license, etc. This is something new, again, that we are introducing to the lump sum solution, which is a bit more hand-holding, a bit more support for those who want it. But if I want to do it myself, all the information is available here. There are no secrets, right? Our experts, everything they know is also available on the platform, all in bite-sized content, never longer than a tweet, built for swiping right and left on the mobile phone. All right, so Brian, I'll open up now if there are more questions.
Okay, I'm going to remove the screen just so people can see you a bit better.
Great.
And let me just take some of the questions. I know we've run slightly over time, but I think it's worth it, and hopefully people are hanging on. So Richard, fascinating, so impressive. Chris, absolutely brilliant. So let's go into the questions now. From Tracy Fiola, how are the payments being captured for payroll reporting? And as a follow-up to that, which I've just lost. Yeah, well, let's just, here we are. As a follow-up on Tracy's question, how do you calculate tax gross ups or withholding for these transactions? Okay, so tell us a bit about payroll reporting. Absolutely.
The quick answer is yes. The longer answer is yes. The Benivo does it, obviously not me. If anyone here on the call can do it, is Beth. But yes, we are providing the tax calculation, the flat gross ups. Each corporate can decide, based on advice from their tax provider, which expenses should be taxable, which shouldn't be, how to do that, what are the right rates, and we populate that into our system and provide all these calculations and can integrate to the payroll directly or provide periodic reports, depends how the corporate and the payroll wants to do it, and can also support different payrolls, right? So there are sometimes integrations with the central payroll in the US, but maybe one of the local payrolls would require a different set of information in a different format. We can also support that. All is fully automated, available at any moment on the platform. There's no need for manual work to deliver on that, which is how we can deliver it at such also an attractive cost.
Okay, let me just finish up with a couple more questions and then we'll finish up. Stephanie says, is the vendor database shared across the platform between users or is it only internal? Are they entered by the company or can vendors register to be a preferred vetted provider?
Yeah, so a few questions there. The quick answer is it's customizable. Each corporate can decide how they want this experience to look. They don't need to learn how to do that. That's our team will do. They just need to say what they want, and we will customize the platform accordingly. So can we share vendors between platforms? Yes, we can. We can show definitely also reviews of other employees who work for other companies until we get enough reviews from the same employer, or if they just want to have more, the algorithm can automatically calculate that. There's no manual work that is needed. If vendors want to be added, they can go into benivo.com/vendors and just ask to be added, and they will be added to that platform and being listed there. What's critical is that they will deliver amazing experience to the employees, because that will drive their reviews and that will drive the feedback that employees will give to them and will help others make a decision whether they choose them or not.
Okay, and just a couple of comments coming in here. Tally says, great idea. The city ambassadors would be so helpful when first arriving to a new place. And Mirella has said, great digital approach of global mobility challenges. And Joyce has said, excellent, easy on the eye and seems very easy to use. And then there's a question coming in here from Pratik. He says, brilliant piece of digital approach. Does this platform also include insurance subscriptions, reminders, auto-renewal options, add family members, etc.?
Yes, so we are not an insurance provider, right? We are guiding employees on each of the steps. So if a step that is in the country is recommended or suggested to get an insurance, then yes, there's going to be content on the platform where they can see what vendors are popular, what percentage of their colleagues have chosen which vendor, what was their experience, and they also get automatic reminders that are coming from the platform on things they need to do, whether it's actions that are specific to the employer that is requested them to get them done, or to the country they are settling into.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to call it a close there. Let me just bring Julia back into our thing. Thank you, everybody. I think we've lost Angela. I'm afraid she had to go to another meeting. We've run slightly over today, but it's been a fascinating show, and we will be back next week with a huge show. We've got Mark Bicocci, we've got Tanya Maritini, we've got Jack Japel, and we've got Kristin Dardani, and of course we've got Julia and Pat Jurgens as well. So an amazing show we've got lined up for you all next week. Thank you all for watching, and have a good week, everybody, and see you this time. Actually, remember, 1 hour earlier next week for those of you in Europe, same time for those of you in the US. Take care, everybody, and goodbye from everybody at Benivo.